Hello friends, today I am going to discuss one more important aspect of business communication skills with you, and that is known as listening skills. In any organization, ladies and gentlemen, from morning till evening, we are involved in any kind of communication. We are involved in lots of speaking and lots of listening. And listening is the main thing which we are mostly involved in any organization since morning till evening. We listen to lots of information. We listen to our boss, we listen to our colleagues, we listen to the telephonic conversation, we listen to our juniors. So most of the time in office is spent in listening, ladies and gentlemen. That's why listening is a very crucial aspect of business communication skills. Today I am going to discuss with you all the intricacies of listening skills. Friends, there are two things. One is hearing and one is listening. There is much difference between these two things. Often we confuse between hearing and listening, but these two things are entirely different from each other. Hearing is a natural process and listening is a psychological process. In hearing, what happens? The person who is speaking, his voice comes in the form of vibrations. Those vibrations struck our ear, and after striking our ear, they get converted into signals. This is the process which is known as hearing. And what is listening? Listening is a process wherein we concentrate on all the spoken words of the speaker. We concentrate on every word of the speaker, and then we try to comprehend those words. We try to extract meaning out of those words so that those words can register in our brain as an understandable idea. This is the major difference between hearing and listening. Hearing is a natural process and listening is a psychological process where we try to understand all the spoken words of the speaker. We don't only try to understand the spoken words of the speaker, but we also try to extract meaning out of it so that the information becomes beneficial for us. This is known as listening. There are certain categories of listening as well. I am going to discuss with you those categories. There are basically four kinds of categories of listening: active listening, passive listening, selective listening, and projective listening. Now, what are these four different types of listening? The first one is known as active listening. In active listening, what happens? That we are fully concentrating on the speaker. We are not only concentrating on the speaker, but we are trying to comprehend what he is saying. We are trying to extract the meaning out of it. Whatever the speaker is saying, we are listening to him carefully and we are trying to deduce the meaning out of it. If we have deducted the meaning out of the spoken words of the speaker, only then we can understand that what he is exactly saying. Only then that idea can be registered in our brain properly. This is known as active listening. The second category of listening is known as passive listening. In passive listening, ladies and gentlemen, we only hear the speaker and we don't actually listen to him. Whenever the speaker is saying something, we are involved in our own activities. In simple terms, we just ignore him. Why this ignorance occurs? It occurs because sometimes his frame of reference is not in accordance with our frame of reference. It happens that whatever ideas he wants to convey, we are not comfortable with those ideas because of certain preconceived ideas already registered in our brains. That's why we don't concentrate on speaker, and this is known as passive listening. And ladies and gentlemen, it should not be done because it shows a certain kind of insult to the speaker. So it should not be done at all. Passive listening is sincerely bad, very bad. So these are two categories: active listening, passive listening. The third one is selective listening. What is selective listening? Sometimes it happens that whenever the speaker is saying something, we are in association with some of his ideas and we don't like some of his other ideas. So what we do selective listening. Those ideas that are in our frame of reference, those ideas which we think are beneficial for us, we listen to those ideas and we stop listening to those ideas, those other ideas which he is also explaining along with that idea which you like. You select those ideas which you want and you don't select those ideas which you don't like. This is known as selective listening, and this is again a very bad kind of listening, ladies and gentlemen. If you do selective listening, you won't be able to understand the speaker completely. And if you are not able to understand the speaker completely, you won't be able to follow his words sincerely. And it leads to downfall of the organization in most of the circumstances, ladies and gentlemen. And we also have examples of it in many different organizations. It leads to downfall of the organization, so it should not be done, ladies and gentlemen. Selective listening is again very bad form of listening. So we have active listening, we have passive listening, we have selective listening, and the last but not the least is known as projective listening. Ladies and gentlemen, I must say that projective listening is the highest form of listening. It is even higher than active listening. What happens in projective listening? In projective listening, we project ourselves in the frame of the speaker. What does it mean that we project ourselves in the frame of speaker? Whatever the speaker is saying, we start thinking in his terms. We try to project ourselves in his position and try to find out that what exactly he is feeling right now while speaking. We project ourselves in his situation and we try to find out that what is going on in his mind. And once this brain coordination is maintained, ladies and gentlemen, if we start thinking what he is exactly thinking, only then we can grab the idea completely. That is why it is said that projective listening is the highest form of listening. And I must say that in any organization, if you follow projective listening in all the aspects of business communication, ladies and gentlemen, your organization will succeed and succeed and succeed. It will only succeed, there will be no downfall of the organization at all. So I must say that if you want to be an effective listener, if you want to create a good impression of yours in front of your seniors, your juniors, your managers, and everybody in the society, try to develop the habit of projective listening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the most crucial and most important aspect of listening, and it can take your reputation to unprecedented heights, ladies and gentlemen. So, I must say that projective listening is the best form of listening, which should be followed in every organization. So that's all, ladies and gentlemen. As my previous sessions, I hope that this session of mine is also as informational as my previous sessions. And I hope that you will sincerely follow what I just said. Thanks for being here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.